and welcome to the Valley. Today, I am your host, Janet Michael. On the show today, I hornswoggled a few of my fellow City of Winchester Civic Leadership Academy classmates to talk about their experiences in this program so far. We are 8 months into a 9-month program, and we'll have our graduation next month, which I am pretty excited about. As you will hear Kit mention, the class will begin anew in September, and applications are currently being accepted for a lucky 20 Winchester residents. I will have the link to the application in the show notes at thevalleytodaypodcast.com. I do want to show Kit a little bit of gratitude for allowing me to participate, even though I am a Frederick County resident. So I am very, very grateful that he made an exception in my case. But I highly recommend this program. But don't take my word for it. Have a listen to what some of my classmates have to say. So we're at the Civic Leadership Academy. We are in the second to the last class. Today we're doing Parks and Recreation. Kit Redmer, Communications Director for the City of Winchester, has put this whole thing together for us. You've traveled with us over these last several months, Kit. For someone who's listening today that has no idea what I'm talking about, Civic Leadership Academy, what is this program and why does the city do it?
Yeah, thanks so much, Janet. It truly is for us in the city a labor of love, because it is probably our favorite form of engaging the public. We're opening our doors for folks that are equally interested in engaging with the city to come in and learn about our different city departments, about our programs, about our budget, about everything that the city does. We have a little cliche, we like to say we open up the hood, right? Raise the hood on city operations. And that's really what the course is intended to do, is to give folks that are civically minded and want to get involved in their city, it gives them a place where they can start.
We are going to graduate in May, and then you will start this whole process all over again, and a whole new crop of people will be able to take this class later this year into next, right?
That's right. I think everybody in the current class is going to graduate, as far as I can tell. No, we have a fantastic class. In fact, I always say every year, this is the best class. And then there's even another better one, although this one I'm sure will be the best. Seriously, yes, you're right. The class runs, it's kind of like a school year actually. It runs from September through May. And we meet once a month, the third Friday of every month from 1 to 4. So it's about a 3-hour commitment per month. The final session is graduation, where folks will get a little diploma, and we have a keynote speaker that comes in. We'll have a chance to have lunch with the city manager and ask questions. But what's really hopefully important is that folks are also going to take away the information that they've gathered. Everybody's going to be asked to make a commitment as far as how they're going to continue to engage in the city moving forward. And if folks, not that they have to, but if they want to apply for a board and commission in the future, or they want to get involved in a more formal way, again, they don't have to, but if they'd like to, this looks really good on their resume.
And this is a really good stepping stone to be able to do that. It's very smart on the city's part to get people to be engaged. This is a very easy way to start that process.
Absolutely. Look, we're trying to engage with everybody in the city, right? It doesn't matter where you're from, what language you speak, what your background is. It's important for us to engage everybody. But we're also trying to create a cadre of folks here in the city who are familiar with what's going on and know how to engage with the city and can hopefully spread the word, right? So every class that comes through, we do things like we have an alumni happy hour. We're at a critical mass now where we've done 3 classes since I've been here. So we're starting to get to that point where we have a cadre of folks that understand what's going on in the city that we can reach out to, and we can lean on them sometimes too to help us and the communications team spread the word.
Now we're going to talk to some of my fellow classmates. Thank you for doing the intro.
Oh, they're going to be great. I can't wait to hear.
So tell me your name and why it is that you decided that you wanted to be part of the Civic Leadership Academy.
My name is Michael Gildea. I moved out here during COVID, and I have always been in a period of my life involved in the civics of where I live. I feel like being involved in your community is really as important as being involved in your family, being involved in your church, if you have that community. I mean, where you live is a fundamental piece of who you are and how well-being I feel as a person. And so I've always had that approach. I've been out here, but I still work on the other side of the mountain. But my time on the other side of the mountain is coming to an end as I get ready to retire. I'm from the professional world. And so I not only want to live in Winchester as I do now, bought a house here about 4 years ago, I want to basically be a strong contribution person to the city. And so when I heard about this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect.
This is perfect.
Because I've been searching, like, where's the door to get involved? And I have a couple of neighbors that do this, and we have a town council person that lives down the street, and a little things here and there, but never a place where I got a kind of comprehensive overview. And so when I heard its opportunity, I quickly put a resume together and submitted it, and I got a call back, and I was like, wow, it's Christmas. And it has been that way. I really have felt that it's been a perfect introduction because it gives a nice overview of all the different departments. And to use the analogy of looking under the hood, I think that's the most perfect analogy you could think of, because it's not been a deep dive. It's been 2 or 3 hours in each department, look under the hood, and everybody has their own backgrounds and capabilities. And so I think it really opens the door to everybody's individualism, because people bring different skill sets. I'll bring something different than somebody else, and you get to see where you might fit in your contribution, because as I said, I know I want to contribute, and now I can see which areas are the best fit for what I want to do.
Our classes have covered law enforcement, fire and rescue. We've talked to various different departments within the city. Do you have a favorite so far? You don't have to say Parks and Rec just because JP's sitting here. You can pick any of the ones that we've done so far.
Well, I do. I actually did a master's in urban and environmental planning. I worked with several consulting firms on economic development. So I think those are areas for me, and I don't work in those areas today in my professional career. Somehow my career migrated over due to money paid better to what I do now. But I have a huge, strong interest in bringing back what I did academically and what I did for the first 10 years of my life, and trying to marry the two in the community I live. And the topics I just mentioned, I think those are the best fits for me. But I'll have to see what's available, what's open, what's natural. I mean, it's like finding a partner in life. You really never know what you're going to bump into and how the chemistry is going to be. And I have found myself working in jobs and doing volunteer work 6 months from something that I never would have dreamed about. Just because I started talking with somebody and we hit it off, or all of a sudden I saw a need and there was a need there and nobody else stepped up, and I was like, this got to happen. So I mentioned those areas, but I'm open to whatever I feel it just fits when the time comes.
Thank you for hanging out with me all this time in the class, though. I appreciate it.
It's been a joy. You have a lot of background, and it's been great. Happy to do as a classmate.
So tell me your name and why it is that you chose to be a participant in the Civic Leadership Academy.
My name is Jeff Layman, and I moved to this city 40 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So I grew up here, and I like to hear about the city. And over the years, I've picked up bits and pieces, but when I saw the opportunity for a class that would teach me one big picture view of the whole thing, I was in.
What has stood out to you the most so far? Has there been something that you thought you knew that you found out you were wrong about from taking this class, or something you didn't even know existed that now you want to know more information about?
The class has been a really nice introduction to a lot of things. I don't think that there's one thing that I was wrong about or anything, but it is really nice. I learned a little bit more about everything I go to. One of my favorites, since my profession is engineer. In college, I studied civil engineering, and I read about water and wastewater treatment. I really liked going to see the plants in person, not because I learned something, but because I got to see what I already knew.
That was one of my favorite things. We did extra credit. So I did the water plant tour, but I got otherwise waylaid into another meeting and missed the wastewater treatment plant. I was really looking forward to that. But those kinds of things give you more of a sense of how your city runs when you get to see it in action.
So many things that you can see, and the people that you meet, it's a wonderful class.
Thank you for agreeing to be a victim for me today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Tell me your name and why it is that you chose to be a part of the Civic Leadership Academy.
My name is Kate. I am a circulation supervisor at the Handley Public Library. I moved to Winchester to take the job as the circulation supervisor at Handley Library. I've been here a little over a year, and my boss recommended to me that this would be an amazing program, not just to get to know the city better, but to meet some amazing people and get to just see how wonderful the town is.
Has that been your experience?
It has absolutely been my
That was a
experience.
tricky question to ask you there for a second.
I know, it's a little subterfuge. It has been an amazing experience. I had no idea just how much people truly care about living in Winchester. Every department we have been to, you can tell how much passion people put into their jobs. So I have loved getting to participate in this class. It's just been fantastic.
Have you had a couple favorite classes or favorite favorite experiences so far to this point?
I have had two favorite experiences. My first one would be the public safety tour, which was just phenomenal. To me, it was just astonishing how organized and clean and just how much care they put into their facilities. For example, they displayed how if a fire hydrant should happen to burst, to be able to get there and have it fixed in 2 hours?
Right.
It takes me 3 to get out of the house every morning. I can't imagine setting it up in 2. That's just astonishing to me.
That was the thing that was impressive to me, was the things that I've never even thought of. As someone who has lived in this area for my entire life, you don't ever think about, wonder what happens if that fire hydrant gets hit by a car or something happens to it. I've never thought of that before. Now I know what happens.
What about the flooding? Everybody was so concerned about the flooding that we had back in 2025. Who takes care of that? They're all over it. It's just amazing to me. The second session that I had that I really loved was the one that we had at the fire department when I got to meet Ashley with the CARE program. That, to me, working with the public at Handley Public Library has been a huge tool. We get a lot of displaced people at our library, and some of them are newly displaced, and they are looking for resources. They're looking for people to call. They need assistance trying to navigate the new world order that they're in, and Ashley has been an amazing tool. I'm so excited to work with her. She is just phenomenal.
Kit is going to be very happy to hear that that is something that you're putting into practice right now.
I'm already putting it into practice. So I beat him to the punch. He didn't get to ask me the question. It's already up and running. So I'm actually putting the CARE information in our Handley Library newsletter this month, just giving people, how to get to the link, how to reach out to Ashley, so we can help our patrons that need it the most.
Thank you for taking the time to chat with me about this today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for asking me.
So tell me your name and why it is that you decided you wanted to be a part of the Civic Leadership Academy.
My name is Liv Heggoy, and I've lived in the City of Winchester for 16 years, so I'm not a been here, but I'm not a come here at this point either. And I work at Laurel Ridge Community College, and I decided to take this program because I feel like in our daily lives we go the same route wherever we're going, and this was a great opportunity for me to learn more about things that are really in my backyard that I had never known about. The cohort of people in this group this year, they're so smart, and we come from different backgrounds, and I feel like that's been another real advantage to learn from them and to meet people I wouldn't have otherwise met. I've never been to the fire station in 16 years.
Right?
I've never been there before, and I just think, this is phenomenal, and it's been a great way to learn about how the city is run. And of course, we've all just paid our taxes.
Now you have some insight into where that money goes.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of empathy and I think some admiration. I mean, no municipality is perfect, but yeah, I've learned a lot, and I think it's pretty well run in my brief 9 months of learning more about it.
There were a lot of things that I learned that I didn't know I needed to know.
Right.
Just these random things that you wouldn't think about until they're presented to you, and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I not know that?
When we visited the dispatch unit,
The 911 dispatch center.
911 dispatch, I was so impressed. I hope I never have to use that. But the way they operate with such calm and so much technology, and it's just, I was very impressed, and I just didn't know anything about that.
Have there been some favorite stops along the way? Do you have a particular session that we've done so far that really stands out for you?
Yeah. When we first started and we introduced ourselves and that question was asked, I said, I'm most interested in looking at the wastewater treatment plant, which I think is now, we call it water reclamation, which sounds nicer. But yeah, I'm interested in infrastructure, and I don't have the occasion to really learn about
Why
it
would you ever go there?
And
Right.
it was just fascinating, and I encourage other people to do this program. You'll never turn your tap on again, really, without more of a big picture thinking about how it works and the great people who are making it clean and on either end. Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. Yeah, again, the fire and rescue, just watching those women administer that 911 dispatch center was so impressive to me.
You mentioned a second ago, and it's one of the things that I have appreciated, I think, most about this, is the diversity within our class.
Yeah.
I remember that first day, and everybody went around the table, and they talked about whether or not they were, when you talk about being a from here or a come here, I was really surprised at the number of people that weren't native to the area and the number of retired military that are in our group. But they have had some of the best questions and a very different perspective than I would as somebody who's lived here my whole life.
Yeah, no, you have people who are in public service, you have people who are number crunchers, you have people like you who just know the deep history of the area. And I really think this group is going to continue to be part of engagement and conversations and activities. It just seemed like this was a committed group, and it's kind of inspiring to be part of that. So yeah, I just strongly encourage people to think about doing it. It's been like a monthly field trip.
Exactly. And as we wrap up, the one thing that I will say too in the beginning was that I was like, I don't know, man, can I commit to an entire afternoon, one day a month? I got a lot going on. Is this going to work? It has been very easy, quite frankly, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, whatever it is, to be able to make this work, which I think sometimes maybe is a barrier for other people that are listening. Oh, I don't know that I can do that. It is a lot easier than
it is. But being on a Friday afternoon, I think helps for most people. It's not on a weekend, which is impossible. So yeah, it has not been a burden, and it's relaxed. If you can't come to a session, it's okay, because they say that you could come next year. So the only one I missed was social services, and I will just make a point to go to that next year. And also I will say I've followed up with many of the people who've given presentations. And these folks in city government have all responded and answered follow-up questions, and that doesn't happen everywhere. So this little city of 30,000 people.
It doesn't happen in regular corporate life a lot of times, much less in your local government.
My workplace, anybody's workplace, following up. So I've been really impressed with that as well.
Thank you for taking the time after our class today.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that's it for me today. But again, if you're a City of Winchester resident, I highly encourage you to check out the Civic Leadership Academy program. The link to more details and the application is in the show notes at thevalleytodaypodcast.com. But if this isn't right for you right now, you can still stay in the loop on what's happening around the city by subscribing to their YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search Win Connect. Once you find it, it came up first for me, then click subscribe and make sure you mark the little bell so that you get a notification when they release new episodes. This month, it's all about apple blossom, which will be here before we know it. And I will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of The Valley Today, talking with Kristen Lays from Belgrove about some upcoming programs and events, including a traveling exhibit showcasing VA 250. So meet me back here for that just a few minutes after noon.